More now on that unfolding emergency throughout Victoria. There are now 18 flood warnings across the state. This is a massive story. More than 200,000 homes are without power.
And in the last few moments, we've seen a family rescued from floodwaters in Gippsland. This is one of just many emergencies unfolding there this morning. Nine's Mimi Becker is on the scene right now. Mimi, can you just give us an idea of the situation?
Well, this is what the residents in Traralgon are waking up to. We've got water gushing down driveways. There's a bit of force there, and it is really taking over this entire street. Now, for these residents, it's been a long night. They were expecting around 100 millimetres of rain and winds of up to 110 kilometres an hour. At the moment, there's 18 flood warnings in place, and 6 of those are major ones. One of those is for the Traralgon Creek, which sits behind these properties. Now, that is expected to rise to 5.3 metres this morning, so that's got an extra metre to rise at the moment. At the moment, these houses haven't been inundated just yet, but a number of people are evacuating. We've seen families pack suitcases, their kids, the family dog. They're taking this seriously and they're getting out of here.
Hey, Mimi, just looking behind you, if your cameraman can just push down that street a little bit, you can just sort of gauge there just how much water is coming through from that creek. So they're expecting 100 mils. That looks like an awful lot has fallen in other parts to swallow that creek. Do we have any indication yet? I know you've only just really arrived there, but do we have any indication of whether it's still rising or whether it's on the way down?
Yes, so at the moment the creek is still rising. That's the major concern for the town of Traralgon. This area does flood often, but it is expected to peak at a major level of 5.3 metres. Currently it is only at 4.3.
Wow.
So that has an entire metre of water to rise in the next few hours. They are saying that will be through this morning, so that's only a couple of hours for that water to keep rising, and the rain is still falling. They're expecting another 40 mils here today with more rain into tomorrow. So there really isn't any reprieve on its way yet. We've seen SES crews, choppers flying above. There's a lot of sort of cautious emergency around. You know, people, like I said, this area does flood, but they are expecting this to be as bad as the 2012 Gippsland floods, which inundated a number of homes. There's been 4,000 calls to SES, 48 rescues in Victoria already, and it's certainly just getting started.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that this storm was coming through, but it seems, you know, that it has taken everyone by surprise, the gravity of it, just how much rain has fallen and just how strong those winds were.
That's exactly right. And the family that you saw those pictures earlier of evacuating, they said that they had no notice. They said they didn't know how bad this would be. We heard from the Bureau of Meteorology and the SES yesterday giving out some warnings, but this definitely they have been increasing their warnings every hour. We've got a woman here who's just surveying the damage. How are you going?
I'm going fine, thank you, dear.
Yeah.
A little bit scared.
How does this compare to other floods you've seen?
This one's a little bit worse than the last one, yeah, but no, apart from that, that's nature, isn't it?
And are you worried?
Well, no, not really.
The authorities are saying there's still another metre for this river to rise, the creek behind your property.
Really? Oh, well, it might come up to my veranda, mightn't it? Oh, wow. Oh, well.
Are you going to stay or are you going to evacuate? What's your plan?
No, I'm staying. I've been here 30 years and I'm staying. Yes, just hopefully it doesn't wash me bed away.
Oh.
Yeah, so, no, it'll be all right. Yeah, this is the worst. It's never come into my place before, so...
What was your name, sorry?
Thelma.
Thelma, thank you, Thelma. So Thelma here, a resident of 30 years, and she's choosing not to evacuate. She's staying, she's going to stick it out, but not everyone is. A lot of other people are choosing to evacuate. They're choosing to get out, Carl and Ali, because people just don't know what will happen as this creek and the rivers around this creek continue to rise.
It's interesting there aren't a lot of emergency services personnel around. They're obviously inundated. However, if that creek and if those floodwaters where you are right now go up another metre, What impact will it have on the immediate area around you, around that street?
This will have a huge impact. So we're just in one street, but there are multiple streets through Traralgon like this on both sides of town. The town is split by a major road where lots of flooding usually takes place, but this is just one side which has the showgrounds, the footy fields, all of that sort of infrastructure, that local infrastructure that really builds a country town. So these are the low-lying areas of Traralgon that are really being hit. We've got SES, police, water crews all on standby, ready to complete rescues. We have seen cars go through floodwaters this morning, and obviously motorists are being told to take care on the roads and to never drive through floodwaters. Those crews don't want to be completing those water rescues as these waters continue to rise.
Very good, Mimi. On the spot for us there. We wish everyone in that street, in that area and all throughout Victoria all the very best this morning. We'll have more details coming up too. You've got to remember too, it's cold.
It's
cold,
freezing at the
wet
moment.
and awful in Victoria right now. Stay with us. We'll have more on that unfolding emergency when Today returns.
Welcome back, and some breaking news for you. More than 200,000 homes are without power across Victoria in what's being described as one of the biggest power outages in that state's history. This is the situation in Gippsland right now. You are looking at live pictures of rising floodwaters in Traralgon. It is freezing. It is just terrible, terrible conditions in that part of the world right now. Let's bring in Today Melbourne reporter Isa Stashkovsky, who is in Croydon. Isa, good morning. Many they just can't leave their homes.
Yeah, it's certainly right, Alex. Good morning. There have been 48 rescues so far and more than 4,000 calls for help right across Victoria. People have been trapped in their homes. Police have been trying to help them out as well as their neighbours, because power lines and trees have fallen across streets. People aren't able to get out. We were here about an hour ago and you can see this tree was blocking in about 30 houses. We actually caught up with some guys who live on this street. They brought out a chainsaw and as you can see, they've just chopped it up. They said they needed to get to work. This is what Melburnians do. They help each other. They've chopped it out and now we're seeing people are able to get out and go to work. The police tape remains and it really looks like this right across this entire area. Just down the street, we were in someone's backyard when we were trying to cross to you before and we lost signal. A tree there that's more than 60 years old and is about 3 stories high fell over in someone's backyard. They're saying to us they don't even know if they should be calling for help just as yet because other people are in such dire circumstances. As you said, it's cold, it's raining. We've had this lockdown for 2 weeks, so people really are doing it tough this morning. And now the SES is urging people to have at least 3 days worth of food and water because this cleanup, as you can see, is just all across the street and it's going to be taking a number of days. It's only just become light here in Victoria, so authorities are still really just assessing how extensive this damage is. Alex?
How much more can Victorians take? Isa, thank you.